Of all the no status buildup, successive attack power builds I've used, the Pata's the best. It attacks fast and is a fist weapon with range, making it unique, or perhaps a better word for it, strange. So let's see how we can turn this amalgamation of a gauntlet and a sword into a DPS monster. First off, the Pata is a DLC weapon. You can actually see it right when you drop into Gravesite Plain. Look behind you and above, ride up to Bellarat, and then head south, so you can obtain appropriate elevation to grab this weapon. We have the fist moveset here, but let's be real. Outside of using the running light attacks every once in a while for Malenia or NPC fights, you're going to be using the neutral light attacks. That is how we increase successive attack power. One of the major drawbacks for fist weapons is, of course, the range. If you try to hit Malekith or an Erdtree avatar when you're right in front of them, you may very well miss. That is not a problem with the Pata. I never had an issue connecting with any enemy, and honestly, it was easier to hit the bosses than when I used the brick hammer. So overcoming that main drawback of fist weapons is rather nice. For the Ash of War, we want something to make the light attacks even better. That is why I used Cragblade this week. It gives you extra physical damage for the duration of the buff, and we are pure physical damage with a Dex infusion. It also increases poise damage, but you're going to be finishing off the enemies before you have a chance to poise break them. The spells are the good old Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. Golden Vow gives us 15% more damage and 10% more damage negation, and Flame Grant Me Strength will grant us better stamina regeneration and 20% more physical damage. You want to start every fight using the Flask, then Golden Vow, then Cragblade, and finally Flame Grant Me Strength. For the Flask, you need the Thorny Crack tier. That gives us a boost in successive attack power, and either the Bloodsucking Crack tier for 20% more damage at the cost of health drain, or the Opaline Hard tier to make us tankier with 15% more damage negation across the board. No Elemental Shrouding tiers this time. As I said, we are pure physical. Since the start of boss fights are rather predictable, we can get in several light attacks and really up that power right at the start. Not only will that Thorny Crack tier be helping us, but Millicent's Prosthesis and the Rotten Wing Sword Insignia make 3 different successive attack power boosters. This run was recorded at max New Game Plus, and in early game and mid game, most of the fights were under 1 minute, if not closer to 30 seconds. So I can only imagine how hard this will shred in either New Game or New Game Plus. The 2 other talismans I ran with were some of my favorites. The go-to Dragon Crest Great Shield for 20% more physical damage negation, and the 2-headed Turtle Talisman for even more stamina regeneration. I was playing it safe and simple here, but the Pata does have some pierce damage moves. If you really want, maybe you could utilize some counterattack damage and slap on the Spear Talisman for those running light attacks, but I preferred my damage negation and my stamina regen. Since we are using a fist weapon this week, I want to ask all of you, what is your favorite fist weapon, not only in Elden Ring, but the entire series? For me, I have to choose the Star Fist. Those R2s are lethal, and you get bleed buildup along with it. The Spiked Case Deuce was also fun, but it cannot match the Star Fist. I would mention my preferences in other games, but I haven't used fist weapons in other FromSoft games. I'm sure there's something crazy in like Dark Souls 2 that I either haven't used or don't even know about, so be sure to comment your favorites down below. As always, this video is sponsored by my novel, Follow the Gleam, linked down below. And for more Souls-like and build videos like this every single Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, be sure to like and subscribe to TheJerseySide. Our stats for the build at RL170 are 60 Vigor, 20 Mind to use our incantations, 34 Endurance, 80 Dexterity, which should have been 75 Dexterity, since Millicent's Prosthesis increases our Dex by 5 points, and 25 Faith to use Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. This weapon was a comment recommendation from a while back, and honestly, for a minute there, I forgot about it. It must have been like 3 months ago that someone recommended it, and I'm finally here. So just in case there's someone out there waiting for their recommendation to be made into a build video, it'll happen, don't worry, just give me time. Someone recommended the Anvil Hammer, and while that won't be next week, that is definitely a weapon I'll be doing soon. But other than that, I have more videos planned, some of them a bit out of the ordinary. I have a one-handed sword Code Vein 2 build, and I have a returning weapon in a new video format for me. It's a favorite I haven't used in almost 3 years now, so do stay tuned for that.